Hello, my name is Kourtney Alexandria, and I am the summer 2021 intern for Writing by Design Media. And the content that I created during this internship was based on Memphis Small Business Quarterly.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Kourtney, and we really do appreciate everything that you've done up until this point. So tell us a little bit about what inspired you to want to major in journalism and strategic media.
I have just always loved to write, and I've always found writing to be very therapeutic, and so I thought that it would make as a great career choice, and then maybe I can inspire along the way. The goal was to become a fashion journalist, but this internship has really inspired me to just branch out more so to public relations, maybe a little bit more social media campaigning, and yeah.
So tell us more about your internship experience. What are some of the things that you did?
So I created some press releases. I created some content based off of some candid conversations. I did a social media campaign that was the audience were entrepreneurs for Memphis Business Quarterly social media Instagram page. I sort of conducted some connections with different people in finance and the entrepreneur world and business, and so I just found that to be very, very much so a learning experience.
So what did you learn about entrepreneurship before you started this internship?
I didn't really know much of. I knew entrepreneurship was something that you needed to be passionate about to get into, but just kind of listening to the candid conversations and talking to the people that I talked to, and even just conducting the social media campaigns, how much actual work goes on behind the scenes and how consistent you have to be and how you have to be up on the material that you're trying to put out to your audience. And so
okay,
definitely.
So Instagram was one of the platforms that you worked on to try to generate some interest with the magazine publication. Tell us about the stories that you created and the engagement that went into the Instagram campaign.
So my approach, not really knowing how to conduct a social media campaign, was just kind of to create some type of creative way to get information that I researched. And then when I first initially started to do it, it was just kind of not really cohesive to what MSBQ was trying to convey, and I just kind of went off of my own idea of what I thought it was supposed to be, and I learned very quickly that it was something that had to be cohesive and it had to be in line with the audience and the message that was trying to be put out. And then learning from the candid conversations with the entrepreneurs, Miss Nubian Simmons and Sasha Simmons, and reading some of the editions from MSBQ with Anthony Young and some of the financial advisors that were featured, I learned a lot about finances. I learned a lot about venture capital. I learned a lot about business models, and I learned a lot about just entrepreneurships, and also a little bit about Black-owned businesses. And so, yeah.
Okay. So what advice would you give to a student who is in this industry or learning about journalism and strategic media? What would you give them? What would you say to the next intern that comes on board?
Take everything and soak it all up as much as you possibly can. I really was extremely nervous, and you really don't do as bad as you think you're doing, because I was just like doing the campaign, I'm like, this is wrong, this is really bad, and then of course I was critiqued, and I'm just like, this is just not going well. And so when I got the feedback and I adjusted and I applied those critiques, it was kind of smooth sailing after that. So just soak up all that you can, and once you soak that all up, just apply it to whatever project you have going forward, or just apply it to the current project. And yeah.
Okay. Well, any last words that you want to share about your experience?
I'm very grateful for this experience. I'm very happy that I was able to have this type of experience. I've never written a press release. I've never done a social media campaign, and now I can add those to my resume, not as an expert, but of course as something of trial and error. And so I'm very thankful for that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you.